Baby Boomer fans, we are Jackie and Janine, the Pfeiffer sisters, and love to talk about the 1950s, inviting you to reminisce with us as we explore experiences of that decade. Grab your favorite malt or Green River, make sure you are wide awake, and get ready to be inspired about the 1950s. Welcome to the 1950s Fun Chat.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining us time after time. We're so grateful. And another wonderful guest, you might recall having seen this guest who we're chatting with today, seen him either on our previous Fun Chats or maybe you've just associated him with the music industry. Jackie, take it away.
Okay, hello folks, welcome, and please do join us by looking at the bottom of the screen and notice the www.whilethewindmillwatch.com, a very informative website where you will learn about more fun chats. In fact, this is number 248, which is rather amazing when you see all the previous fun chats and look up in the corner of our screen, you'll see the book, the impetus for this fun chat, then www.whilethewindmillwatch.com. The book is there, and we hope that you'll enjoy it. We're going to introduce you to someone, though, who is a writer as well as a musician and so much more. From the moment we are born, aging begins. Our next guest, Greg Nelson, will share a few insights onto that topic. Greg's life began in Bismarck, North Dakota, where he was born and raised. He attended the public schools, Bismarck Junior College, and 1 year at the University of North Dakota, followed by traveling throughout the United States for 1 year with the Christian folk group. He returned to Bismarck and married his high school sweetheart, Pam Wetch. He graduated from Mary College, and then he taught in elementary schools and Bismarck High School for 7 years. He conducted the fledgling city orchestra and led a performing singing group. He then served full-time as a church youth director for 2 years, formed a record label, moved to Los Angeles for 2 years, and eventually settled in the Nashville, Tennessee area to become a producer, songwriter, publisher, and the creator of the music of poetry. Greg, welcome to the 1950s Fun Chat.
Thank you.
Greg.
You're welcome. So we're going to start out with some general topics and then turn to more personal topics in this area of aging. So can you give us just a general answer? What are the 4 types of aging?
Well, first of all, I'm a certified professional at aging.
Okay.
I think we all.
I'm glad to know that.
That's one of my many skills.
Okay.
Is being old. And well, when I think about that, it would be how old we are chronologically, how old we are, and then physically or biologically, what our bodies are doing, and then what our minds are doing, and I don't know.
That says it. That says it. So you're talking about. Oh, would you want to continue on that, or should I ask you something else?
No, you can keep going.
Okay. So, what does healthy aging look like beyond just living longer? In other words, how do seniors continue growing and learning and contributing regardless of age?
Well, absolutely, and I think you ladies do it really well by not quitting life, by moving and doing and being curious and finding your place in the world, because there's a readjustment there for you when you get older. You don't think about this when you're young because you think you're going to be young for the rest of your life.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we do. It's not something we ever thought about, even when we were 40s or 50.
Yes.
yeah, I'm fine. I'm going to be doing good, and then, I'll get old, but that'll be okay.
Yeah.
But we don't know what that is,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, that's
Keep on
that,
going.
uh,
Keep
I,
on keeping on.
I think I think one of the most important things is your body and your mind that do the best that you can to keep your body the best it can be. I'm not a big exercise guy, but I don't want to be sitting around all day, sitting in a chair and
Mm-hmm.
uh, that. But curiosity and and looking for opportunities and stuff. I think people get stuck sometimes. Uh, I did for a while, so I mean, this is nothing uh, that hasn't happened to me, where you get stuck and you think, well, I'm not doing anything of significance now, and uh, well, I can't, I can't do what I used to do, so I must not matter.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
but I do matter,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing people can't ever lose sight of is that whatever they're doing, they matter. And I look in my room here, and I see awards and stuff like that. But then I see what my granddaughters have given me a little P, or a wooden P for Poppy, and all the things they like about Poppy. And so I look at that when I'm up here, very honestly. And
Mm-hmm.
it's the only thing that means anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it, I,
Wow.
I, I, we had an interesting discussion at our table uh, on Father's Day, and they were so good to me. They were very good to me, and uh, we said, "Who are the three people that you miss the most of all the people?" And they asked me, and they asked Pam, and Sarah, and Damien, and we all answered. Every one of them were family.
Hmm.
Every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turned to the girls and I said, "Girls, don't let that go by you. Who did we think about?" I said, "Did I say anything about any of my business people or any artists I worked with or anything like that?" Uh-uh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
sister, my
Yes.
sister, my brother's daughter, my niece who died unexpectedly, 25,
Hmm.
and but that's what matters. And so, yeah, I don't know if I'm wandering anywhere, but anyway, that's
Well,
Okay.
Greg, I think that's considering the topic about which we're chatting today, that aging, and we're baby boomers, and so we are aging definitely, that it's important that love, through our years of existence, love still wins.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it does.
Family love
Yeah,
still seems to be the number one
Yeah.
go-to.
I get a kick out of. I used to go to weddings all the time at this period of time when all my kids' friends and everything were getting married, and
Mhm.
so I go to a wedding and I watch a guy up at the altar just smiling and beaming and looking at his beautiful bride as she walked up the aisle. And I said the same thing to myself every time. I said, "You have no idea."
Yeah. Reality is going to set in real soon.
That's
Well,
right.
and what I see too is that with aging, at that time that my husband and I said our vows, we didn't have any idea what we were going to face as we got into this stage of life.
Yeah,
We loved each other, and we were ready to go into the future
that's
together.
Together,
that's right.
right?
And
Yeah.
that love was at a particular level then, and the love that you have now is so much richer
Mhm.
and so much more different than the excitement of getting married and having
Mhm.
someone who loved you, who paid attention to you and loved you and stuff like that. Then it
Mhm.
changes. It changes when you sit with your wife. Like uh, for me, I'll give you an example, and I'm very happy. So don't. This is very. Uh, don't think this is woe it's me. But my wife has to take care of me a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and for a number of reasons. It doesn't matter, but
No.
a number of reasons. And it's hard on me to watch her have to do that. But that is love in action.
Mhm.
That isn't that whimsical. Oh, we're going on a honeymoon together. Won't it be fun? And
Mm-hmm.
this is a whole different thing.
Mhm.
Greg,
Sure.
have you asked Pam in this role that she has now in her marriage?
Uh-huh.
Does she reflect on all the stepping stone times of life that you and she have had together? Does that help her get to the through to this point and be able to accommodate lovingly this point in
I,
her life?
I'd have to ask her because she her engine is a little different than my engine. Her
Yeah.
engine is her dad passed away when he was 51, and she watched her mother, uh, who grew up on a farm and went out in the field with the boys rather than stay in the kitchen with those women cooking food. She went out and worked on it, and she's so proud of that. Every day she'd ask me, Greg, have you worked today?
Have you worked?
And yeah, and so when she came before she moved here, she would come here and she said, "What are you doing today?" I said, "Oh, I'm writing today. I've got a recording session coming up, and I've got some orchestrations I got to work on." She said, "But what kind of work are you gonna do?" I said, "Well, that's what I do."
Yeah.
She, and she, that kind of went by her for her. She couldn't. I said, May. I said, everything we have, this our house, everything comes from royalties.
Uh-huh.
That's how I live. And but she
Didn't quite get that. Yeah.
didn't connect with her.
Yeah.
She wanted to know if I was going to work. So that's
Yeah.
where Pam came from.
Uh-huh.
And that is Pam. She's very business. She loves having something to putz around and do today. She
Mhm.
loves she loves doing pay. She said, "I've got so many bills I've got to pay here today, and I've got to do this and write this card and do it." I said, do you actually like that?" She said, "Oh, I love it." I'm saying, "Oh, God, I'm sure glad she loves it." Yeah, but
So I
so
will
she
go ahead, finish up.
so she's like that. I'm very very emotional, feelings oriented. She not the same. She has feelings. Don't get me wrong. She has feelings, and it's one. And it's funny. We've adjusted,
Mm.
Mhm.
and she's now starting to understand me,
Mhm.
and I'm starting to understand her more. And so,
After all these years, it's a good
yeah,
thing.
you understand all the more the longer you're around, and it's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah.
When
So
you
I
when you were dating
Uh huh.
and you were then married, did you see these did you each see these characteristics in each other that are now have now blossomed in your life?
Well, I didn't know I was marrying Pam's mother,
oh
but
oh
but
okay.
I I kind of was, but I didn't. No, I wasn't perceptive. I was so busy practicing and putting stuff together and writing, and I was clueless. I really was. Pam was much more. I mean, she had to know what she was getting into when she married me. Because here's a, well, here's what, here, here were my qualifications. Let's see, he's been traveling as a musician for a year. He's ADHD. He hasn't graduated from college. Uh, yeah, that sounds really good to me. That's what a perfect guy for me. If you know her, then it's even more fun.
Yeah. So, what are some of the myths about aging that you think are just not true?
Myths about aging.
Hmm. What do people say or think and they're not true?
That it's not as hard as you think.
Oh.
You know, you know, it, you just get older, but everything is sort of the same way.
Yeah.
Your health is pretty much the same. And I think another thing that what was I thinking the other day about that? Well, it'll come to mind later.
Greg, how has your writing changed as you've aged?
Well, well, I, I, I tell writers, songwriters, when they're writing, they'll say, "Well, I want to try to write this thing like, what's going on right now, and I want to kind of try to figure out that style and how they do what they do." And I tell them, no, no, write what is in you to write,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the most powerful thing you can write about. I write very little about things I don't know too much about.
Mm-hmm.
Or I do a lot of observation. I'm very curious. I'm very curious and very interested in a lot of different things. Uh, but that that for me is uh, really important. My writing is way more about what I'm experiencing,
Okay.
and
Yes. Well, you have written some beautiful poetry and prose. It's just
oh,
gorgeous. It really
well, I
touches the
appreciate it.
heart.
I appreciate
Hmm.
it. That it.
Yes.
Well, to be honest, it's real cathartic for me. It's very helpful. It is that giving me a sense of belonging in a way that,
Hmm.
okay, I can, like I say, I ask, Lord, what do you have for me? I mean, you're this is kind of hard,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always, you keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing. That's what I've given you to do, and so I'm really excited about it, because remember when I said I don't matter that much anymore because I'm old and I'm not doing anything of consequence and stuff like that. Well, I am,
Hmm.
and I am. The P up on my wall for Poppy with my grandkids, that's important. And I think I might have said this to you guys once before, but this idea that someone told me, God does no little thing. He doesn't do little things.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Anything I'm doing right now, that put me in, he's put me in the place I am.
Hmm.
Yes.
I don't think it's uh, uh, magic or anything. I think that's the orchestration of my life. Well, if he's put me there, I've got important things to do,
Hmm.
and my grandkids. But the world doesn't tell you that. They say,
Right.
well, what about Grammys and what about awards and how many did you sell? many platinum records, how many, yeah, it's great. All that stuff's great, but it's not the important stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, how has your faith changed over the years, and what do you suppose facilitated its changes?
Well, I look back and I look on things that I wrote about, like you write about sorrow, and because you hear it, it's in the church vernacular, sorrow and grace and mercy and stuff like that. And so
Mhm.
we wrote about that because we knew the meaning of it,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't know what it was.
Yes.
We didn't know what sorrow was. When I sat across from my writing partner a couple weeks ago, who was just having, he's he's on his last legs,
Mm.
and we were looking at each other, and we started talking, and not one time did we talk about, oh, oh, what about the copyright on that piece that we did? We could get that back if we want. And we looked at each other, and we were talking about football and something else. And here's a guy literally on his deathbed, and and I have my own issues, and we were just looking at each other about the things that matter and that are important,
Mm-hmm.
and that's important.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
that is important. People,
Mm-hmm.
people, not stuff. People, and it's so clear to me.
Mhm.
So I don't think about that anymore. So my faith has changed in that now I can understand somewhat in a mirror. What is it? Dimly or what?
Yeah, see
Uh,
through a
uh,
glass darkly. Mm-hmm.
uh, I kind of see now what God is talking to me about when He talks about that sorrow. Do I know what sorrow? Did I know what sorrow? You know, Bob Dylan had it best. I mean, he the guy's great. He said in that song "My Back Pages," uh, but I was older then. I'm much younger than that now,
Mm. Right.
Ah,
Yep.
and that that
Much younger than.
resonates with me so much because we knew so much then.
Yeah.
But now I look and I don't have answers. I don't have answers that you know, like they'll say, well, do you believe in the 5 points of Calvinism, the tulip, or do you believe in this and Lutheranism and stuff? I don't know. You know, I don't know any of that stuff.
yeah.
I don't know. All I know is that I have been kept throughout my life.
Mm.
And that's another thing that is an interesting thing. I looked at, you know, a big word in Lutheranism too is or Methodism or Baptist is service, a
Mm.
servant, being a servant.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked that up, and that word servant is doulos, Duol, I think uh, US or OUS or something like that. Uh, doulos, which is a whole different thing than I thought about when servant, but that's how it's been translated uh, to. It means being owned.
Mhm.
Oh,
You're
okay.
owned because a servant, to me, I'd much rather be a servant because I can still have my own opinions, and if I don't want to work there, I don't have to. I'm a servant. I don't have to be doing all.
Yes.
I'm doing. But if I'm owned, that's a whole different thing. There are four different kinds of slaves. The ones who were uh, held in prison for whatever they did. The ones who were, that second one would be the ones who were captured in wars. You know, they would make slaves of those people. And the third one is people who were freed, slaves who were freed.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a fourth one too. The fourth one was a guy who was freed, but he never left.
Yes.
He didn't want to be freed. He wanted to be alone.
Yes.
And so that brought a whole new perspective to me about how I see Christianity, how I see my walk. There's been a lot of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Greg, coming from the music industry, especially if a person has a beautiful, rich voice, or someone is very gifted on an instrument, and then all of a sudden, as we age, the voice starts to wobble. We can't control it. The fingers don't work as well. They might be
Right.
painful. How does a musician grow through that in aging?
Well, some have a very difficult time with it. It's like their life is over because they can't do it, or they are assured in themselves. They know they're not singing as well as they were, but they still have something they want to say, and that when people listen to them and older, it's like listening to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. When they're much older, but it's remembering what they were,
Mm-hmm.
and remembering and listening to it, and it's as meaningful to you now as it was then. It's not because of their voice, and that's I don't think people really understand that. I would have background singers come to me and say, "Oh, I can sing better than Kenny Chesney. I'm doing all these sessions, and they're really good too. These background singers, they're unbelievable." But they said, "Why can't I get a? Why can't I get a? Can I get a record?"
Mm-hmm.
And I used to tell them, I said, "I can tell you why, because they're very limited." Joe Cocker, was he a great singer? No. But did people want to hear him? Yes. And what's the difference? Style.
Ah.
Style, by its very definition, means limitations. And there are certain limitations in it. Johnny Cash, he's a communicator. That's it, and there's a lot of great. But see, there's a lot of great singers. There really are. There's a lot of people who sing really well. But that's where the gift part comes in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What does God have you to do?
Great.
What's he doing? Some people want that more than they want to hear from what God is telling them.
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather be famous.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm probably going off in the wrong direction.
That's okay. That's okay.
So, what have grandchildren taught you about
Everything.
growing older? You mentioned them. Everything.
Everything for me. I mean, I pick up so many. There's a word for, what's that word? Pericos. I can't think of the word now, but about what the fragrance after it rains. There's a fragrance. It's called something. I can't think of the name of it. But that came from my little granddaughter.
Oh.
She said, Poppy, you know what this means? I said, no. She said, you know how it smells after it rains? I said, uh-huh. She said, she said, well, that's what this word means. That the fragrance after it's rained and after there's been a rain. I can't. It's Pericos or
Ozone. The ozone.
It's the ozone. Yeah. Well,
Something about ozone.
okay, folks who are listening, look that up. Ask Alexa.
Yes.
Yes.
You have her.
Petrichor.
Petra,
I
what?
think.
What is
Look up petrichor.
That sounds
P-E-
good.
Petrachor.
Oh,
Maybe an E.
okay.
Look that up and see if that
Familiar. Janine, did you do that?
petrichor.
Okay. While Janine looks it up, let's talk about. Do you think that music in one form or another helps people age well? And so why and how? If they're
Say that. Say that
okay,
one more time.
if people are if they continue to be involved in music somehow, do
Mhm.
you think this helps them quote age well?
Absolutely.
Oh, tell us
Well,
how.
yeah. Well, it's that doing part. It's they haven't quit their life
Mm-hmm.
and gone. Well, no, I better hang it up because I'm not singing like I used to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you're singing for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But you're never going to get back there, friend.
Uh-huh.
You're just not going to get back to that. And
But you'll blossom at something else.
that's what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I got tremors and I was having a hard time, at least I could play my cello for a while because even when being blind and
Mm-hmm.
and my hearing not good, but I just enjoyed playing it. It just
Mm-hmm.
took me somewhere, and I loved doing it. But then I got this
Too much vibrato, huh?
in my hand, yeah, and it, my playing days were over, and my actually my writing days, writing to paper was over too. Uh, so but then I kept talking to my phone all the time and trying to create these poems, and then it would read it back to me, and then I could have it printed, and then I got used to doing that, and I just started from like first grade, just started writing, and I'd never really I'd written songs, but I'd never written poetry or anything like that because my problem was, is I think we've talked about this before, was it's my particular kind of ADHD is that I'm unable to really read a book. I can't read words overwhelm me, and so uh, I don't say it proudly. It's just what it is. You can look it up.
Matter of fact.
ADHD. Uh, some people have that, and I was one of them. And so, but poetry, where you didn't have that many words, and so I could wrap my head around that,
Okay.
and I had never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned everything by listening to something, or listening in class, or listening however I could. So that changed for me.
Mm-hmm.
In answer to the question about the definition of petrichor, you're right, Greg. A pleasant smell that frequently accompanies the first rain after a long period of warm, dry weather.
Yep, petrichor.
And so, really, petrichor, in its own sense, accompanies your writing.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's uh, yeah. It is. That's what it. Okay, that's the answer, Jackie,
Mm-hmm.
about what, what's 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 the result of being curious and going out. It refreshes you.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. It does.
Like when you go out for a walk and nothing else does this, and you guys, you being raised on a farm, you guys know this. When I go for well, I'm go carefully for walks now, but whenever I go outside something happens to me. Something
Positive or negative?
very positive.
Oh.
It refreshes me. It in the weirdest way, it gives me more hope and gets my mind going and thinking about uh, not what I'm troubled with, but what I'm excited about and what things are exciting to me. And there's nothing more healing than being outside for me. I don't know. Those things, see, but here's the deal. I never thought about that when I was in the studio, when I was a kid and practicing in my room and going, I don't want to go outside, I want to practice it, I want to,
Yes.
so that's, that is a big thing that has changed for me in my life, is taking the time to be quiet, be silent.
Well, how did we do that then when you're raising your kids? Oh, I need time to be quiet.
That ain't gonna happen. Uh, uh, but when you get, I love the way God plans stuff out, because He gives us now this time. He said, this will be a good time for you to kind of reflect, and you can grow more and have a little silence. And silence is very precious to me. I love quiet because I can think. Nothing gets in the way. And anyway, that,
Greg, do you see your succeeding generations being writers or musicians?
no, I don't think. I do see this, and I see that both of my children, Sarah and Ben.
Uh-huh.
Ben is a crazy good drummer, and he plays piano and guitar. He's very musical, but he has diabetes, and he was at 14. He was a type 1 diabetic, and so he knew that it would be very difficult for him to get insurance. Uh, so uh, I've got so many. I got so many. One funny thing about it. So he knew I'm not gonna try to be a studio musician or anything like that. And but one time he came to us after he'd worked. He was working at Dell or something like that, and he was doing really well selling. And and he said, "Dad, I know you're not going to like this." And he called Pam and I, and he said, "But I want to go out on the road just to know that I did it one time." I said, if there's no better time, I said, you're not married. You've got nothing holding you down. You just have at it. And he was surprised that we said that. I said, go ahead. And so he came back about a year later, and we talked to him. And I said, was that fun? He said, oh, yeah, it was a lot of fun, but I decided I didn't want to be poor anymore.
Yeah, that's right. So that leads me to the next question. If you could tell your younger self one thing about aging, what would that be? And what could you tell younger, you like your grandson? And
Embrace it and don't worry about it. Don't worry about getting older.
okay,
Just, let life come to you.
mm-hmm.
Let it come to you, and whether you're young, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're old, just let life come to you, because you're not going to have anything to do with it anyway. So why worry about it? Why sit and worry about, oh, if I die, when I die, I wonder what that's going to be like. Well, it's going to be like when you die.
Yeah.
But you can't do anything about it.
No,
That's
it's not
right.
Quit
painful.
worrying about it. And embrace the life that God gives you, because when you embrace the life God gives you, nothing's nothing's going to go wrong with Him running things.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
so. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Greg,
Okay.
did you ever think, Greg, that when your grandparents had their, I'm going to use 50th wedding anniversary celebration, if they did have that, did you think that they look really old compared to, wow,
Yeah.
you and Pam look as in 50
Yeah,
years?
I don't look anything like they did.
No,
No,
you're like
it's like that joke. The person said, I saw this old person the other day. They look really not very good until I realized it was one of my classmates.
yeah.
Yes. Yes, those class reunions can be very eye-opening.
Yeah, devastating.
Devastating, yeah.
Yes.
Well, on that note, we thank you for being with us, Greg. This has
Oh,
been
yes,
delightful.
Greg. This is
Yeah,
wonderful.
I love being with you two the
Oh,
other times, and you are precious. And
thank
just
you.
know that that is not lost on me, and that you are admired,
Oh,
and I
thank you.
love uh, your push and drive with this. And by the way, if you haven't gotten their book, you should. You better get it. That's all I got
Corner
to say.
there.
That's right.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Ruth.
Yes,
yeah.
thank you, Greg.
But and the things you wrote about because I Pam read to me, and it has deep meaning.
Mhm.
It has deep meaning, and you have really done a service by writing that book. And I love
Thank
the
you,
way
thank
you
you,
are
thank you.
persistent and perseverant in it.
Thank
So
you.
anyway, I
Thank
love you
you.
both.
Thank you.
Oh,
We
thank
love you
you,
too,
Ray.
Greg. Thank you.
Oh, yes, please do take note of, again, www.thewindmillwatch.com. Also note that there's a red button and a blue thumbs up button, and please note them. And until next time, tell your friends, even your relatives, about this 1950s fun chat. Till next time, bye-bye.